the Mets, meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life, because the Mets are really socking the ball, knocking those home runs over the wall. East side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the METS Mets of New York town. Oh, the butcher and the baker and the people on the streets, where do they go? To meet the Mets! Oh, they're hollering and cheering and they're jumping in their seats. Where do they go? To meet the Mets! All the fans are true to the orange and blue, so hurry up and come on down, 'cause we got ourselves a ball club, the Mets of New York town. Give 'em a yell, give 'em a hand, and let 'em know you're rooting in the stand. Come on and meet the Mets, meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life, because the Mets are really socking the ball, knocking those home runs over the wall. East side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the METS Mets of New York town, of New York town. Meet the Mets, meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life, because the Mets are really socking the ball, knocking those home runs over the wall. East side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the METS Mets of New York town. Oh, the butcher and the baker and the people on the streets, where do they go? To meet the Mets! Oh, they're hollering and cheering and they're jumping in their seats. Where do they go? To meet the Mets! All the fans are true to the orange and blue, so hurry up and come on down, 'cause we got ourselves a ball club, the Mets of New York town. Give 'em a yell, give 'em a hand, and let 'em know you're rooting in the stand. Come on and meet the Mets, meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life, because the Mets are really socking the ball, knocking those home runs over the wall. East side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the METS Mets of New York town, of New York town. Meet the Mets, meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life, because the Mets are really socking the ball, knocking those home runs over the wall. East side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the METS Mets of New York town. Oh, the butcher and the baker and the people on the streets, where do they go? To meet the Mets! Oh, they're hollering and cheering and they're jumping in their seats. Where do they go? To meet the Mets! All the fans are true to the orange and blue, so hurry up and come on down, 'cause we got ourselves a the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life, because the Mets are really stopping the ball, knocking those home runs over the wall. East side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the Mets, Mets of New York town, of New York town.
What's up, guys? How's everybody doing? Again, tonight's going to be a short stream because I have plenty of things I need to attend to as well. But Mets fans, as always, thank you all so much for chiming in. We have plenty that we need to talk about. I want to touch on a lot earlier from Zach Scott. And also, guys, if you did not check out the live stream earlier today for Mets Talk with Richie from Mets Media, make sure to check it out. I had that in the description in my previous video earlier today on Matt Chapman. I'll probably put in this one as well. But guys, how are you all doing? What's up, Mets fans? What's up, baseball fans? How are we doing, guys? Again, plenty to discuss. I really want to break down. I was trying to figure out, okay, as I was saying up this stream, I was going to be doing a little bit of a different topic, but this kind of sets up the stage perfectly because while maybe we're reading a little bit too much into this, I also think that we very well could have ourselves somewhat of a connection here with Arrieta going back to the Cubs. It could possibly be an indication that maybe something will be coming shortly in regards to the Mets and the Cubs as well, depending on what their utilization is going to be. And if the Mets are in fact prioritizing not just Bryant, but Hendricks. And as we know, there has been plenty of connection there with both, so I'm very curious to see your thoughts. But what's up, guys? Again, thank you all so much. Just bear with me. I'm still getting set up as we speak, so just give me 1 second, guys, as I get this all figured out, and then I'm going to start answering all your questions and then breaking down exactly what we'll be discussing in tonight's stream. All right, I think we're golden. All right, what's up, guys? How's everybody doing? Josh, my man, how's it going? Everybody, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Oh, we already have a dono. Al, is that Al? Yes, it is. Al, thank you so much. I love baseball too, and I love you too, buddy. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Guys, hype in the chat already for Al, guys. Thank you all so much. You guys are tremendous as always. Jackson, what's up? Joe, what's up? You're a beast. No. I'm not a beast. You're a beast. Dominic, Tyler, you have the best interests on the effing planet. Really gets us going. I hope so. It's definitely injected right into my veins, right? Eric, what's up, buddy? I'm sorry, I watched all the sim games last year. I think I heard Vaskursian say that 50 or so times. What's up, guys? Again, happy to have all you lovely Mets fans here. I apologize if I missed some of your comments already. But how's it going? Nick, how's it going, my guy? Andrew, everybody. Nick's up by 7. Hopefully they keep the lead. Mr. Gee, hi, how's it going? Everything Sports, what's up, buddy? Chapman is so good. I know. So for everyone chiming in, first of all, thank you all so much. Please help us get to 100 likes for the first short-term goal. Again, this will be a shorter stream, probably just upwards of an hour. So we're going to try to get a lot of information in a very small period of time. That's cute. David. Okay. So what we're going to be talking about today, guys, is obviously what's happening with the Cubs currently. And as we see, they're looking like that. It's not officially official yet, but it looks like Arrieta is going back to the Cubs. So assuming that comes to fruition, we very well could be seeing further things happen with not just the Cubs, but the Mets as well. As we know, Arrieta was a guy that the Mets had constant dialogue with as they were really trying to weigh all their options, both in free agency and the trade market when it comes to the rotation. So take Arrieta off the list. Thank God he's not a guy I want to land in Queens, and I think this very well could be telling in regards to possibly Bryant and Hendricks should they land on the right price. So again, guys, thank you all so much for being here. Verified Sniper, how's it going, buddy? You know, Wardy, those Bruin goalies are impossible. I know. Halak always plays on his head against the Rangers, though. That's nothing new. He's been doing that literally for like the past decade. But guys, I just want you to know here. So I don't know if you guys chimed in, but Zach Scott and Lefty, what's up, buddy? Zach Scott did in fact, Morosi said the Mets aren't getting a relevant third baseman. Well, at the same time, I don't know exactly what's going to happen there, right? Every guy has been wrong this offseason, all right? I know that he said that nothing was close earlier today in regards to Bryant, and same thing with Chapman. but take that as you will. So many guys that have broken news this year did not even know what happened until it actually happened, or it was smaller people that broke it. So again, I think there is still very much a connection with the Mets and trying to land a third baseman. And it was evident today, guys, and I hope you understand that through Zach Scott's presser earlier today when I was doing my live stream on Mets Media with Richie on his channel, so make sure to check it out. Zach Scott said a lot of very interesting things, and I have quotes that will be popping up in the live stream if they didn't already, but some that really resonated well with me is the fact that one of them is the fact that Zach Scott has stated that they would like to add for the rotation, whether that's, more of a solidified starter or more of a depth move, a placeholder move, basically, if you will, until Thor comes, which is what we have been saying on the channel all along. I think that's good. I'm all for it. It definitely shows that everything has been adding up, and we're not done yet. Yes, exactly. And anyone that's actually been following along this Mets offseason, guys, should know that's exactly the truth, okay? So the Mets, they're not done. They want to add pitching, both rotation and bullpen. That's why they're trying to free up guys. They already DFA'd Brad Brocca, as we know, to help with the roster. They also got rid of other guys. They plan to get rid of guys like Betances and or Familia. One of those two they would definitely like to try to part ways with, it seems, as of now. So take that as you will, guys. I'm very excited for what is going to be happening with the Mets here, but that was very telling. I was very happy to see the Zach Scott presser earlier today. And he also said in regards to third base, he was saying how JD Davis, we're confident in him, but he also never reaffirmed that JD Davis would in fact be the starting third baseman for the Mets. So I think there's still some hesitance there, and that the Mets, he's openly said how they are in fact weighing all their options. They're not against improving the roster, which is pretty telling in my mind that while I love JD, I love the bat, I do believe that they are very much going to be addressing both third base, starting rotation still, bullpen, and possibly anything else. So take that as you will, guys, but please let me know your thoughts as always. Let's see here. Where did you get that WardyNYM sign? I honestly don't know, Robert. I got it as a gift, my friend. But again, guys, so happy to have all you lovely Mets fans in here as always. I would love to hear your thoughts on all this. I really don't want to give up David Peterson. Yeah, I agree. I honestly agree, Mikey, but I will say if there is an exception to giving up a guy at Peterson, and again, I don't think it's likely, but if there is a guy, if you're going to give up Peterson, you're not going to do it for just Chris Bryant because he's a rental. It makes absolutely no sense. But if you have a guy, Hendricks, in the deal, that is something that in my mind is worth considering, because Hendricks would definitely round out this rotation, bring in the top. Then you could add another arm if you really want to really round out as a fifth starter, like a Rich Hill, for instance, someone along those lines, or maybe you bank on a Lucchese or someone there, which I don't think that they would. But in a scenario like that, I would definitely take Hendricks at this point in his career. I really would. He's one of the most underrated pitchers in the league, no doubting that. But guys, if you are in fact new, make sure to smash that like and subscribe button. As always, help us get to 100 likes here, and also help us get to 6K subs for the next short-term goal. We're doing amazing things on the channel. I would love for you to be a part of it if you aren't already. So thank you all again for being here, guys. I'm going to answer some questions, and then we're going to just continue to roll here and basically see what's up. Who will win the Subway Series? Well, I would obviously hope the Mets, but I can't wait for the Subway Series this year. Matt Chapman is overrated. That is the hottest take. If you're just focusing on batting average, Michael, you have no clue what you're talking about. And I mean that with all due respect, buddy. Baseball Talk, what's up, buddy? Brad Green's from Lehigh Valley. No kidding. Chapman, LFGM&D, buddy. That's awesome. Zach Scott looks like he was being held hostage. Yeah, who cares? I like Zach Scott. I really do. Here, bear with me 1 second, guys. I just need to pick up the phone for a second. I apologize about that, guys. All right, let's see here. Trade Betances, another bad contract. If you can, then yeah, that's definitely something that you should consider, and that's exactly what the Mets are considering. I'll put up with Brian if he comes with Hendricks. Yeah, I would love that too. And you'd have to imagine that that is something the Mets are weighing, because if they already were interested in both Sonny Gray and Eugenio Suarez, Hendricks is another guy that has been on the table, has been in the rumor mill for a bit now, as we know, and it would just make plenty of sense for the Mets as long as they can afford it, as long as they're not giving up prospects that are going to hurt them going forward. You know, guys that are not prospects per se that are in position here where they would have a lot of success, actually room to grow. Like a Crow Armstrong, you cannot deal away. Certain pitching prospects like Matthew Allen, you should not be able to deal away. Nothing like that. So I'm really not, again, I'm the only, in this situation, this is tough because say you have Hendricks and say you have Bryant. Those are guys that, in my mind, you would have to deal JD Davis right away. David Peterson is someone I would not want to have to part ways with, so I'm hoping that you wouldn't. But if you deal JD, you deal one of a Mauricio or a Beatty in that situation, knowing that you're going to be able to lock up Bryant long term. So maybe Mauricio would be the better route there, because there is belief that he can convert to third base given his size. That would make a lot of sense because he's going to be blocked for the next decade more than likely by Lindor, and then you also go from there. So it would probably take a little bit more than those two pieces, but that's at least a starting point. Joe, thank you so much for the donation, my friend. I'm down Nimmo bats 9 with no DH. Thoughts? Yeah, I don't know. I don't see Nimmo batting 9th. The only way that that would make sense is because that's basically an early leadoff man, right? But outside of that, I'm not sure. But seriously, thank you so much, Joe, as always, for the donation, my friend. Guys, hype in the chat for Joe, as always, and continue to let me know your thoughts, guys. I'm really curious what your thoughts are about Arrieta going back to Chicago, and if you believe that this very well could have any connection with a guy of Hendricks, for instance, and Bryant being on the move this offseason. I would love to hear it, and give me some proposals too, because again, it is evident that the Mets are in fact going to make more moves this offseason. Zach Scott has made it clear. I also want to add as well, because even though it's not the topic of discussion in tonight's shorter stream, but we have seen that the Mets over the past day or so have shown interest in Wilson and have been in contact with him, Justin Wilson, possibly bringing him back in the pen. And all indication is that Wilson would probably like to come back to Queens. And we also saw from Mark Feinsand earlier today stating that there is in fact a deal that is getting close in regards to Wilson, but he doesn't know for what team. So it was a very kind of cryptic message, if you will. So I'm not sure where Wilson is going to land, but keep an eye on that, guys, because there is a solid chance that he goes back to Queens still. Matthew Allen, Mauricio, and JD Davis, Bryant, Kyle Hendricks. I really would not want to part ways with Allen in that deal, Baez. I wouldn't, but Hendricks is on such a beautiful contract too. That's the thing. It's tough because I don't know, Matt. I don't know. If you can really try not to part ways with Allen, then you don't. But again, I know that they have already, just in regards to Bryant, at least from what we know, without connecting him to Hendricks yet, we have seen that they have asked about Francisco Alvarez, and there's no way in hell the Mets are doing that, especially for just Bryant, because Bryant is a rental. It would not make any sense for them to go down that route, nor should they even consider it. So it's going to be very interesting, but there is no denying that there is, in fact, a trade that will be happening soon. That very well could be with the Cubs, so we'll find out probably over the next week. WardyNYM Wardy says, if Cubs ask for Alvarez, they're dumb. Bryant on Trade Simulator has a 2.80 value, and Alvarez's value is 5 times more than that. Yeah, I mean, because he's a rental. First of all, funny name. I like that. That's funny. But yeah, no, I do believe that Alvarez is not going anywhere. The only exception would be to truly be a massive deal that I think is outside of something that Bryant currently, him being a rental. And even then, it's a head scratcher. Can't they maybe try and teach Jomar Alonso to play third? No, Hank. No, Hank. I do not. Trust me. If they can't even get JD to play defense right now, the last thing they're going to do is try to toy with someone else like a Dom or a Pete. So happy the Mets lost down Arrieta. I agree, Ricky. I don't think it's so much they lost out as, you know, I don't think they ever really had full interest. I know that they just kept dialogue with him. Would I do Mauricio, Davis, Beatty for Chapman? It's funny because that is something I would consider, yeah. Walker, Odorizzi, Rosenthal, Gila, Tehran is a good depth move. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Again, the Mets may very well still add pitching through free agency for the rotation. In a situation where, again, I don't want to see it happen, but if they were to part ways with Peterson, you still have yourself a hole in the rotation, even after acquiring Hendricks, because you're losing Peterson in that situation. So It's interesting. It really is. I have a feeling that the Mets are going to do one or the other, however. And I really hope that if they are, in fact, able to get a deal done with the Cubs anytime soon, that it's not going to involve Peterson, because I really do not want to see him go. I've yet to check out about the fan in regards to Martino. Yeah, no, I have to check that out. I apologize about that, guys. I just had to check in on something. Okay, I believe that all the Chapman news is just to blow smoke and cause the Cubs to force a deal. I mean, it could be to force a hand to an extent. You know, it has been a thought that I've thought about. Granted, do I think Chapman is nearly as likely as Bryant? No, I don't. I think Bryant and Suarez are ahead of the Chapman talks from everything that we have seen thus far. But, you know, it is an interesting thought. I definitely agree. And guys, if you are in fact just checking in, make sure to smash that like and subscribe button. As always, it would really mean a lot, guys. And thank you all so much, as always, for being here. Again, this will not be a long live stream today. It'll probably be upwards of an hour, maybe even shorter than that, honestly, because just a lot of things are currently going on. But I wanted to share this little live stream tonight, and that way you guys can also check it out after, if anyone that is now watching this after the fact of it being live. Yeah, Nightingale isn't too great. To be honest, if Alvarez is included in Bryant or Chapman trade, even Chapman, Mets has traded away a potential franchise player. I would hold the horses a little bit on saying that Alvarez is going to be a franchise player. Yes, there's always potential with prospects, but even then, I think you're going a little far there, respectively. I appreciate you, though, especially your name. That's awesome. But, you know, Alvarez, I don't want to see go, nor do I think the Mets would even consider parting ways with him. Anyone else notice that in MLB Top 100 list, they group players on the same team or the same position, a lot of them? Yes, I have seen that. I believe that, let's see, Beatty Davis and prospect from 10 to 15 in the farm will get it done for Chapman. Arenado would not cost the top 8 prospects, so I think this will work. You know, that's fair. Yeah, Arenado's situation was far different. What's up, Leo? How's it going, buddy? Who do you think is going to be the third baseman for the Mets? That's so tough. I don't know. I have a feeling it is going to be one of these guys that's been rumored that we've seen the reports in. Can you get it? Awa? That's funny. That's really funny. Let's see here. I've been doing this a long time, and the catcher catching scout. Alvarez is untouchable. Oh, I'm not saying that Alvarez is going anywhere. I don't want Alvarez to go anywhere. Trust me. Walker's still realistic for us, even after a solid third base signing. Walker is realistic if you, in fact, are just getting a third baseman in a trade or free agency. If you're getting a third baseman and a pitcher, then it feels a lot more unlikely. Why can't Mauricio go to second base? LeMahieu is bigger than Mauricio. I mean, that's fair. I just haven't heard anyone really toy with that idea yet. Honestly. Do you think we will leave Davis at third base? And if he does bad, trade him at the deadline? Lefty, I don't think Davis is going to be the starting third baseman. I can always be wrong here, but I don't think it. Neil Walker, no. Taijuan Walker. What's up, Isaac? How's it going, buddy? And Chapman percentage is low. In regards to him laying in Queens, I'd say right now it's low. Yeah, no, I would say, though, that in regards to JD, what we saw earlier today from Zach Scott was telling that, yes, he openly said that we feel comfortable with him going forward, but he never clarified that it would be JD would be the starting third baseman for the season. And you could see some reluctance there, especially knowing that he was explaining how they're weighing all their options still, that they aren't against upgrading on the roster. So JD, in my mind, feels like it's just a ticking time bomb for him to either be on his way out or in a situation where they upgrade on third base, and then naturally that relationship comes to an end. So again, it's going to be something that over the next couple of days to a week, we're going to find out a lot more on. But what Zach Scott is saying is pretty telling that, changes are definitely coming. Regardless of control years, who's better, Bryant or Suarez? Bryant. Bryant's the better all-around player, I would say right now. I had heard news the Cubs weren't looking to trade Bryant until midseason. Who else at third base do the Cubs have? I mean, in this scenario, it would be like a JD Davis, for instance. That's the thing. I would be very hard pressed, because if you guys see in the reports I've been showing in the live stream as well, one of the players that the Cubs have reportedly shown interest on is in fact JD Davis, and he would ultimately be the third base replacement for at least the short term there in Chicago, outside of whatever prospect would come up, or maybe a prospect that the Mets even part ways with if it's involved in a bigger deal like Hendricks, for instance. Baseball Talk, thank you for putting me on. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Appreciate these streams. Thank you so much for being here, Eric. I appreciate you. And again, guys, we're not going to be going too long today. Like I said, I actually might have to be stopping things even shorter than I originally imagined. So I apologize in advance, but I really just want to get a lot out there. And what's up, WardyNYM fan page? I love it, buddy. Let's see. Wardy, how's work, my man? It's going great, Nick. You're looking at it. It's always fun. I don't even consider this work. So the fact that it's becoming is actually pretty awesome. Who do we need more, Chapman or Laureano? Chapman. Definitely Chapman. I don't think Bryant gets traded before the deadline. I know there's a lot of people that believe that, and that's a fair belief to have, honestly. The Cubs very well could roll. If the Cubs asking price is way too high, they very well could roll into the season with Bryant and then really try to chip him off at the trade deadline, hoping that Bryant is playing well and that the Cubs are in a position where they can really do a whole lot with him. Even if they are in a position where they're doing decent, not necessarily winning the division, I just don't see it happening where he stays long term there, because he's going to be a pending UFA, and it looks like his time in Chicago is definitely coming to an end. But Bryant is definitely a guy that I'm not against whatsoever. Chapman sucks. Oh no, Adrian, you're talking about the Ron Chapman, buddy. Ron Chapman, my friend. We're talking about Matt Chapman. Even 10 minutes of a Wardy live stream is worth it. Oh, well, thank you, Brendan. I appreciate you, buddy. I know I'm late and sorry you discussed this. The Ali Sanchez for cash? Oh yeah. Why would we need cash unless there's a big signing or extension coming? Your thoughts? Really just because they DFA'd him. So it's not like they were really going to get much of anything for Sanchez as it was. Who cares? They got cash. They can I don't know how much cash they got. They can utilize in any avenue. Sanchez wasn't going to be with the Mets after they DFA'd him, clearly. So who will the Mets put in Syndergaard role until he comes back? Lucchesi or Lugo? Lefty, neither. I don't believe Lucchesi or Lugo will be in the rotation to start the season. I think it's going to be a starter that they trade for. That's a second or a third starter, or it's going to be a guy that's in the back of the rotation as more of a fifth starter through free agency. Bring back Wilmer. Yeah. I know. Okay. I know Chapman is elite with the glove, but he hits 240. Chapman hasn't even played like more than 3 seasons in the bigs. Trust me. Healthy Matt Chapman is a deadly Matt Chapman, Michael. I think you're really overlooking what he can do both offensively and defensively. I mean that with respect. Chapman is a 240 hitter. Guys, you're reading way too into that. Way too into that. You guys have no clue just how good Matt Chapman is. And I desperately want you guys to deep dive more on Chapman. Like, oh my God. Seriously. It doesn't even matter if the guy bats 250. If he gets you 20 bombs, 80 RBIs, that's more than enough because of what he's doing defensively. Let's see. Last Mets Cubs trade, I went to Wilmer 4 for 4. Oh, game you said with a grand slam. Oh, that's awesome. JD Davis, Mauricio, and 2 other prospects for Luis Castillo and Suarez. Your thoughts? Those 2 other prospects would have to be fairly significant. Castillo's going to cost an arm and a leg, and then you add a controllable Suarez. It's not going to be cheap. Let's see. Let's make a fantasy baseball league. Yeah, maybe eventually. Not right now, though. Out of Suarez, Chapman, and Bryant, I would take Bryant any day of the week. Interesting, interesting. Chapman would be my favorite pick, but Bryant and Suarez definitely feel like the more likely guys. What's up, Mr. Bubasik? How's it going? As a guy in the West Coast, not many other guys I take over Chap. Yeah, exactly, Joe. I'm glad to hear your perspective, especially. Chapman is the best overall third baseman in the league currently. And defensively speaking, yeah, he is. Chapman, 2-time Gold Glover, 2-time Platinum Glove, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year in 2018, 2019, all that respectively. 2019 All-Star as well. Doesn't get much better than that. Would you trade Jacob deGrom to the Angels for a package of Mike Trout and Anthony Rizzo? Why would you ask such a silly question? I'm not going to answer that. You can't even... stop it. Oh, okay. Bryant, when healthy, is MVP caliber. I completely agree. It's pretty easy to overlook Bryant right now just because of the fact that not too much has been going on with him. He had a shortened season, as we know. And before that, he was really looking strong in 2019. But again, guys, thank you all so much for being here. I hope you guys haven't been enjoying this conversation. Again, a shorter one today, and I hope you guys are looking forward to the content ahead. I'll probably be a little slower on the weekend because I have a very busy weekend ahead. So at most, probably you're going to see maybe just one video tomorrow or so, and on Sunday. The only way that you're probably going to see a live stream over the weekend is if something breaking happens, like serious. Outside of that, you won't see as much because I'm usually really booked, especially this weekend. But don't worry, as we lead up into next week, we're going to see a lot of content. And I'm sure a lot of crazy moves are going to be happening soon, and I can't wait to talk about them. But guys, as always, help us get to 100 likes. We're so close, and also help us get a 6K sub. So if you haven't smashed that like and subscribe button already, please do, guys. It really mean a lot. Just checked out some video Chapman, and you were so right. He is a real deal. Oh, John, exactly. He's a stud. I would take Bryant any day of the week too, though. Bryant very well looks more realistic right now than I'd see Chapman. All right, guys, but I want to know your thoughts again here, because when you're weighing the options, imagine the Mets get Bregman. Yeah, lefty, imagine indeed. That's all I can say about that currently, and I'm just being honest. David Pearson could be dealt. I hope not. Yeah, I know. I don't want to see Pearson dealt. Again, the only way I see Pearson being part of anything, and I said this in previous live streams, is that it would be part of a bigger deal with the Hendricks, for example. What's the word, Michael? The word is that Jake Arrieta looks like he's heading back to Chicago, where he had his best years in his career. And in doing so, that could be somewhat of a connection that the Cubs, they could... I know this is more unrealistic saying, because at the same time, though, you're bringing in Arrieta. Could that be somewhat of an indication that Hendricks could be more than likely going this offseason at the right price trade-wise? Again, it's not a completely likely scenario. You have to give up quite the haul for Hendricks and in a Bryant deal. Hendricks is where you're going to have to cough up your prospects. It's not Bryant. Bryant is not a guy that any realistic team that is inquiring on him, including the Mets currently, in which talks have picked up over the past 24 hours or so, that you're giving up a top 7+ prospect for. It just isn't happening. But Hendricks is where that's okay. Okay, here we have the real deal. And Zach Scott, as we have said already earlier in today's stream, again, guys, is the fact that Scott has openly said we are not done yet. We are going to be making more moves this offseason. We want to address pitching both in the rotation and the bullpen more than likely. Third base, we're not completely set in stone on guys like JD Davis, for instance. And I get it that he has said that, you know, we're comfortable with JD going forward. But of course, if I'm in Zach Scott's position, the last thing I'm going to do when I currently have a guy in the trading block is going to say that, yes, we're trying to trade JD Davis to upgrade a better overall third baseman because of JD's defensive game, among other things. That's the last thing you will ever hear him say. So don't get too caught up in his words there and saying that, you know, they feel comfortable. Yes, they feel comfortable. It's not impossible to say that JD will still be on the team to start the year, but it seems unlikely. That's my point. Things that have been more increasingly unlikely to happen. So that's my thoughts. Raymond, how do I know this? What do you mean? What do you mean? Don't want Baez. Yeah, no, Baez isn't coming to the Mets. No way. Yeah, no, Baez isn't coming to the Mets. Chapman is a stud indeed, Robert. I completely agree. I 100,000% agree that Chapman is a stud. Who's better, Chapman or Bryant? Overall, Chapman. Yes, I know that Martino said that. Yeah, no, I know everything there is to know about the latest with Chapman. That's why I've done about the trade. Raymond, what do you mean? We've been talking about Bryant for a bit now. Have you not seen? Bryant, as we know over the past 24 hours or so, talks rekindle there. They seem to be picking up again, which is always a fun sign that the Mets are in fact trying to address third base with a bigger name. What's good, Jalen? How's it going, buddy? We sign a third baseman within the next week, Chris. My gut says no, but I think that they will trade for a third baseman within the next week. That is what my gut is telling me. But again, it's my gut. It's been wrong all offseason. My gut also said the same thing to Brad Hand, George Springer, and Bauer, and look what happened there. What's up, Ryan? How's it going? So again, take my thoughts as you will. I'm just sharing my personal opinion, and I always love sharing it with you guys and seeing how you react. Wardy, am I right in saying that Chapman is one of the best defensive talents at third base that we have ever seen? Yes. Chapman, yeah. Chapman and Arenado are the best defensive, like, overall third basemen that we've seen since, like, Mike Schmidt. Definitely. But Arenado's been leading the way for a while, but at this point in their career, Chapman is definitely have more on the up and up still, where, like, we have yet to even see him in his full prime. Did you see the MLB standing projections? Yes, I know, and they're a joke, Ryan. They're an absolute joke, honestly. As a Mets fan, they're still a joke. I hear you, but David Wright is my favorite. Oh, of course David's the captain. He's the favorite, absolutely. There's a difference between overall best and favorites, you know? Imagine those two guys together. I know, Michael, that would be amazing. I worked this trade on Trade Simulator. It had equal value. Mets get Chapman and Athletics get Mauricio Allen and JD Davis. I would do this trade in a heartbeat. Oh, you know, that's the thing, though. In a Chapman deal like that, it's not bad, but I would much prefer if we didn't part ways with Allen. I would be fine with honestly parting ways with a guy of a Beatty, for instance. And maybe if you can get something else out of the A's, then great. But yeah, no, I would not part ways with Allen. The Mets should not be giving up pitching prospects. It makes sense if they give up infield prospects that they know are blocked for the next decade that I talked about in my Chapman video. But just to reiterate how, you know, if you're going to have a guy there for the next, 7 to 10 years through an extension, what are you going to do with those current prospects? You know, they're going to be blocked. Arenado said one time that Chapman is better than me. Oh, there you go. Well, I mean, at this point in their careers, yeah, I think that's fair. But they are neck and neck still, though. Does Beatty, Mauricio, and JD get the job done? In regards to Chapman, I'd have to imagine that gets there, or at least it's awfully close. We need to give JD another chance. I'm not against it, Michael. I'm really not, but I feel like the writing's on the wall that the Mets are. You think Sandy, once working in Oakland, can help gain Chapman? Oh, for sure. If anything picks up out of the first initial report that we saw, I think that Sandy will have a pretty significant factor in that. Who do you think is the best shortstop in the game? Tatis. As much as I love Lindor, Tatis, because of just how much he's done already and how much upside he still has. So I would say Tatis is best shortstop. I would actually Tatis and Trevor Story. It's Tatis, Story, and Lindor. Those are the top three in my mind. Jericho, what's up, buddy? Where you replace Allen with Beatty, then deal. Okay. Give me a reason why Chapman is great besides defense and 30 homers. Okay, I mean, he got it timed out. But I mean, again, if you don't think his defense is anything flashy, then I don't know what else to tell you. That's just personal preference. But I'm taking the best glove at third base in the league, basically, you know, over a lot of other options, if I have that ability to do it. Hi, Rory. I'm great, my friend. How are you, buddy? And again, guys, thank you all so much for chiming in. It really does mean a lot. Again, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens here with Arrieta. It is not official yet, I do believe, in regards to the Cubs, but it looks like that he is going to be on his way back to Chicago. And in the process, we may very well see something soon, too, because again, the Mets, Zach Scott, our GM, has reiterated that we are not done this offseason. So for all the people that always comment in my videos and stuff saying that the Mets are done this offseason, that they're not doing anything else, finally, I can also say, and I've been saying for a while, but yes, I have a bridge to sell you. It's never been the case. The Mets are not done. They're trying to address third base. They're still, in fact, trying to address the rotation and or the bullpen and maybe even some more depth around overall. So the Mets are not done. I really am under the belief that we could very well see a blockbuster. It makes so much more sense than their free agent options if they are, in fact, trying to upgrade both third base and the starting rotation. And that's why the Mets have reportedly shown interest in a lot of these different big-name guys at third and in the rotation, especially if you're looking at packages. Sonny Gray and Suarez is really what started this all over the past month. Yeah, don't get your hopes up on Chapman. I agree. Chapman is a dream situation, so it's exciting to see the Mets, at least what we think that they've shown some interest in. I don't think there's too much there right now, so that's a wait-and-see situation should they not land their other guys. But it's nice knowing that the Mets do really have weighed their options. J-Ram would be fantastic too, but he is strictly a hypothetical right now. The Mets have not shown any interest, at least reportedly. Again, that doesn't mean that there has been anything there, but we don't know. When though, I'm tired of waiting. Raymond, you got to be patient, buddy. You don't think we're tired too? Come on, you got to be a team player here. We're all in this together. I'm just saying it would be nice to have Chapman and Lindor on the left side for May year's Cub. I couldn't have said it better, Chris. I'm with you. Trust me. I heard Brian isn't going to get moved till the trade deadline. Yeah, I know. SNY has been going back and forth with their Bryant reports. It's like they don't want people to get excited. So take that as you will. I think that there's still very much a possibility with Brian. Same thing with Suarez. I think that there's very much a good opportunity that they go, in fact, for a third baseman through the trade route, then through free agency. Through free agency, your only real option at this point is Justin Turner, and that doesn't feel too likely either. Sonny Gray, where are we going with this pitcher? This is wasting money. He is over. Oh, no. I highly recommend you check out my videos breaking down Gray and the meaning behind him not playing well in the Bronx, because I'm sure that's what you're connecting it to. Please do, in fact, redirect yourself there. I think I could help you out with some of the info. Again, I understand people have their personal opinions. That's fine. I would just love for it if you saw mine along with all the numbers and all that great stuff, because I break down a lot of that in my previous videos. Mets should pursue Rich Hill. Well, Steve, the upside is that the Mets have pursued Rich Hill. And we touched on that on the channel over the past week or two. Sonny Gray can't pitch in New York. I'm not buying that one bit, James. There's a difference between him not being able to pitch in New York and him not being utilized correctly, having to overthrow his slider, and really having drastic home and away splits during his time in the Bronx. A lot of factors went into him not playing well with the Yankees. It was far more than it strictly being the Bronx. Bad choice, my friend. Beatty has more value than Allen. My point, that's exactly why I said that. Beatty in that deal as well with Mauricio, you'd have to hope that maybe you can add something along with Chapman. But again, I don't know exactly what the A's would be looking for. And that's just more of a hypothetical. Yeah, that's very fair, Paul. Every time a move was reported for the Mets, it never happened. Granted, that's not true, Paul. That's not. But I know that you're just pointing out the Lindor and Carrasco deal, because that was never reported outside of hypotheticals, that originally Cleveland showed heavy interest as soon as the new ownership came into play, that yes, we would like to make a deal happen for Lindor. Same thing with the Rockies and Arenado, but there was never reported interest going back. So again, I understand what you're saying, but no, there has been reports connecting the Mets with multiple guys that they've landed this offseason, starting with James McCann early on, and, you know, take that as you will. There were multiple guys. But I agree, though. A lot of stuff has happened under the rug, stuff that we really didn't expect necessarily, where it was constantly reported in hypotheticals or actually further reports where there is some type of source connecting it. I'd rather see Brian Hendricks and their postseason experience. That's fair. Again, I can only imagine what Hendricks could do for this rotation and what Bryant could do still in the prime of his career. Mista, correct. We are talking. That's exactly what we're doing. If something actually happened, it would be breaking news in the title, and we'd be talking about a blockbuster trade that just transpired. You're right. You're absolutely right. I rather, let's see here. I think DeGrom is the best pitcher in the game. I completely agree with you, Ethan. So Jake Arrieta is on the decline. I hope the Mets don't overpay for him if they sign him. James, no. Arrieta is going to the Cubs. Arrieta is going to the Cubs. Hey, Rory, outside the box, I'm sup with Josh Hader and who's their third baseman? Ain't thought, yeah, no, they don't have a third baseman, Daniel. That's why they're actually looking like one of the front runners for Justin Turner outside the Mets showing interest in the Dodgers. The Brewers have shown plenty of interest in Justin Turner. Yeah, no, Hader seems more far-fetched right now because from the latest reports, the Brewers are asking for quite the haul for him. So I don't know how realistic that would be. Do I think Arrieta will have a bounce-back season? He might in Chicago, but define bounce back, you know, like I don't think he's going to do anything stellar. Dream blockbuster, oh, there's so many. So this is definitely up there for me, honestly. It really is. I mean, past that, I would say like Chapman and the young pitcher from the A's. I might be saying his name wrong, Lozado, something along those lines. Or Laureano Chapman would just be stellar. Odorizzi's still a possibility. I'd say it's unlikely, Ryan, just because Odorizzi's probably going to want more than 2 years, and I don't think the Mets are going to want to go anything long-term with him whatsoever. Reports have not indicated that, at least. Walker did not go to the Angels, no. Walker has not officially gone anywhere yet. I don't think Chapman would struggle in the NL, no. He might not be stellar with his bat on a given day, but his glove would make up for it. Oh, no problem, James. No problem, buddy. Happy to have you here, no less. And again, happy to have all you Mets fans here. As always, we're probably just going to be going for another 5 to 10 minutes, guys. Again, I apologize that it's a shorter stream tonight, but I really just wanted to share my thoughts on everything that just happened with Arrieta because I felt it was important. Because again, Zach Scott reiterating to us all that yes, the Mets are in fact still active. They're trying to address the rotation. They don't seem that they're sold on JD Davis still, and that they've been showing further interest in these third base options. Again, significant third baseman. Chris Bryant is no joke. Matt Chapman is no joke. Eugenio Suarez is no joke. Even Justin Turner at his age on a short-term deal is still no joke. These guys are all upgrades at third base, and definitely all the trade options seem like that they make the most sense because then you can package them in a type of more blockbuster like a Hendricks, like a Sonny Gray, for instance. Castillo is a pipe dream. I would love it, but it just doesn't seem likely. Pain in the Black. Oh, thank you so much, buddy. I appreciate you. Yeah, no, I love the wall that I've been setting up. I've been changing it up a little bit more. And Jalen, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you all so much who have been chiming in. Thank you all so much again. Please make sure to smash that like and subscribe button. As always, if you're new to the channel, help us once again get to 200 likes for the next short-term goal here in the stream. And also help us get to 6,000 subs. It really mean a lot, guys. You see how much we're soaring on the channel? Like, I hope you know that I take that with the utmost like humble. I know I didn't say that right, but because like none of this would be happening if it wasn't for you guys, all you lovely fellow Mets fans. So seriously, thank you all so much. I cannot begin to tell you just how much I appreciate you all so much, guys. It really does mean the world to me. Sledge, McCann was what? What do you think about the New York Mets getting their official application? I would love that. Let me start working for you before you blow up. Jalen, I'll definitely keep you in mind, my friend. You know, eventually I will have a team under me once we get to a certain point. So that way I don't have to do everything myself. What do you trade Matt Chapman for Dom Smith straight up? Yes. I don't even know why I said that wouldn't happen. The A's wouldn't even pick up the phone. But yes, I would do that straight up. I wouldn't even second guess it. No doubt in my mind. Love you too, buddy. I appreciate the fan page. That's awesome. Humbleness, is that a word? I don't know, Raymond. We're going to make it a word if it's not. Again, I'm a sports geek. I'm not, necessarily all textbook. Okay, let's see. JJ, who would they trade? I missed out there. I didn't see what happened. Daniel, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Lindor applying to bring Ramirez. I hope so. That would be, J-Ram would be fantastic. Again, I wouldn't mind that at all. It's all hypothetical right now. Will the Mets sign Paxton? Yeah, Paxton is a guy that I think is still on the table, but I don't necessarily think he's the top dog for them. Paxton was never a guy that I felt was a top dog option for them. I think he's a guy that, in a very certain situation that they would more heavily consider. But Paxton, in my mind, I think makes more sense to go to like Toronto than he does to go to Queens. Are the Mets trained for Vlad Jr.? No, he ain't going anywhere. Chapman's possible, unlikely, but possible. Humility, yes, Joe. I like that word. That's a good one. And James, thank you so much for the kind words as always. Pete Alonso, over or under 40 home runs this year? Over. What will we get first? A lefty pitcher or a third baseman? Third baseman. No problem, Ryan. Thank you so much as always, my man. Have a great night. Oh no, that's not good in regards to Booch. No, that's not good. Okay. So Arrieta did in fact go back to the Cubs. There you go, folks. Right before the end of the stream. That's perfect timing as well. Oh, thank you so much for the kind words, Oscar. I really appreciate you. Again, appreciate all you guys as always. Thank you so much. We're just about to wrap up the stream, so get in your final thoughts, guys, over these next couple minutes, and then we're going to kick things off, getting out of here with Meet the Mets like we normally do. Yes, I love that. We are blessed that they're in the mix with all these third base options. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Oh, that's perfect. That's the comment of the night right there. Eli, there's your shout out, my friend. I appreciate you being here. Oh, thank you so much, Mike. Thank you, kindly. The Cubs can have him, yes, no problem. The Cubs should trade Sanchez. Who, Ali Sanchez? Because if so, they just did. Night, my man. Thank you so much for being here, Brendan. Have a great night. I would prefer Chapman more than anyone else, but it does seem like Bryant or Suarez is more likely as of now. Thank you so much, Stoney. Have a great night, buddy. That Bridger's selling. I'm interested. All right, well, I'm glad you're interested. Just wait till I actually have the t-shirts. That way you can be really interested. It feels so good. The Mets are so active this offseason. We have hope. I know, and that's putting it lightly, James, really. You know, I completely agree. So it seems like it is, like this is it for center field. As of right now, yeah, which is surprising. It looks like that they are in fact banking on Nimmo, which I did not originally expect. But it's one of those things where all I hope is that Nimmo is getting more reps like he's been showing, and that we go from there. If Nimmo gets plenty of reps and really works on his defensive game, that's all I ask for, because I love Nimmo. I don't want to see him go. It's going to be interesting to see if he's in fact going to be your starting center fielder. Again, not something I originally imagined. That is for sure. Would you trade Chapman for Alvarez straight up? 1 for 1? Yes. Of course. Kyle, what's up, buddy? Guys, hype in the chat for Kyle. Okay, let's see here. Good no area. Suarez better option than Bryant. Next year, too many huge contracts. Yeah, I mean, that's fair, especially if you're getting... Granted, though, I don't see the Mets landing Bryant and not extending him. That's a thing. Again, you could just get Bryant for 1 year and really try to go all in and then go from there. But it just feels to me that if you're going to get Bryant, you're going to try to extend him. Same thing with Lindor. Cabrera to the D-backs, I wish him well. I love Cabrera. I really enjoyed him when he was a Met, and I wanted him to stay. Unfortunately, the Mets back then didn't care about him. I know it's not a high priority, but I like to see an upgrade with the backup catcher. That's fair, Chris. I don't mind Nito, though. I think Nito's going to be just fine. I think Nito's going to do enough for what they're looking for. And defensively, he's definitely solid. Yes, Cabrera isn't bad at all. But guys, that is going to wrap up tonight's stream. So seriously, thank you all so much again for chiming in. It really means a lot. I hope you enjoyed the discussion. I'm really curious. So if you guys do not check out this live stream, I know not you guys watching, but after the fact, make sure to let me know in the comments below how you feel about this, guys. And if you do, in fact, like the idea of the Mets landing both Bryant and Hendricks and more of that type of trade package versus it being just Bryant, and do you think it's going to happen in fruition, let us know as always, guys. And thank you all so much. And Hamilton went to Cleveland, yes, on a minor league deal. deal. And thank you so much, Dominic. As always, my friend, God bless you too. Have a great weekend. Thank you all so much, guys. Now we're going to end this thing the only way I know how. So thank you kindly.
Meet the Mets, meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life, because the Mets are really socking the ball, knocking those home runs over the wall. East side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the METS Mets of New York town. Oh, the butcher and the baker and the people on the streets, where do they go? To meet the Mets! Oh, they're hollering and cheering and they're jumping in their seats. Where do they go? To meet the Mets! All the fans are true to the orange and blue, so hurry up and come on down, 'cause we got ourselves a ball club, the Mets of New York town. Give 'em a yell, give 'em a hand, and let 'em know you're rooting in the stand. Come on and meet the Mets, meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life, because the Mets